So a common question we get asked is, what type of spacing do I need for my trees or shrubs? And now for our silky willow shrub line, for a really nice dense screen that fills in within 4 years, what we like to do is use 6-foot wide ground fabric. We keep the 2 rows double staggered. We do 4-foot spacing between the 2 rows, and then 4-foot spacing between each cutting within a row. So if I were to look at a screen line, I would see a cutting every 2 feet, but since we have them staggered, that allows more room for growth. Then that allows us to keep both rows at least 1 foot in from the fabric, so within 2 years, I can continuously mow to keep the weed pressure on the outside down. Now with that screen line, within 3 to 4 years, that's gonna be about shoulder height. Now, when we talk about the hybrid willow trees, the spacing is a little bit wider. So we'll still keep the same spacing between the 2 rows at 4 feet. We'll still use the 6-foot wide ground fabric, but now within a row, now we're 6 foot wide between each cutting within that same row. So now as I'm looking at this screen line, it will be a cutting every 3 feet. So how to calculate for a screen line for shrubs with the silky willows? We are taking our total footage. So let's just say, for example, you have 200 feet of screening. It would take 100 cuttings to be able to screen that total footage. Now, if we're talking about a tree screen, we're going to take our total footage and divide by 3. So on a 300-foot screen line of trees, we're going to use 100 total cuttings. So as an example here behind me, we have a double staggered row of silky willow shrubs, and then behind that is a double staggered row of hybrid willow trees. Now, if you're using a combination like this, I would recommend 2 rows of electric or some sort of fencing for 2 to 3 growing seasons to allow them hybrid willow to get above the deer height. If you don't, they will be kept to a little shrub ball because the deer love to browse on hybrid willow. Now, if you're just screening with silky willows, fencing or any sort of protection is not necessary, but if you're using a combination of both, I would highly recommend protecting them for at least 2 growing seasons. But you can see here, okay, this is in the winter, tons of stem count, and our hybrid willow trees now, their 3rd growing season here, they're pushing 25 feet in height. And that was solely because we protected them for 2 years now. That first year we didn't protect them, and they were kept to a little shrub ball. Now that we've protected them for 2 to 3 growing seasons, now I'm able to remove the fence and the deer aren't going to be able to harm them. They may rub on them a little bit, but with the silky willows out front, they're not really looking to get behind there. And we don't really necessarily want the deer to travel beyond this point until after dark when they can start hitting the ag fields. But we want the deer to stay in here, comfortable in this holding plot till dark. So that's why we got this strong screen line of silky willows, double staggered, and then a double staggered of the hybrid willow trees. So as you're calculating your future projects here for this spring, remember, silky willows, just take your total footage and divide by 2. If you're doing a hybrid poplar or a hybrid willow, take your total footage and divide by 3.